I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out doubt. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out doubt. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out doubt. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Good morning and welcome. I invite you to sing with me today. We'll sing each verse twice. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Some bright morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life have gone, I'll fly away. Like a bird from these prison walls I'll fly away. Oh, how glad and happy when we meet, I'll fly away. No more cold and shackles on my feet, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joys will never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
Good morning and welcome everyone to White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church. I am Lori Wanker, serving on your board of directors. We are a congregation in the free faith tradition, a community of youth, adults, and children dedicated to pluralism in the spiritual search and ethics grounded in action. Our mission is to grow our souls and serve the world in love. Service participants today include Reverend Sarah Goodman, Amy Peterson-Derrick, Reverend Victoria Safford, and Carol Coet, supported by Anna Gares and Aaron Scott. Music today is from Carol Coet, Craig Hansen, Julia Ryan Holtz, and the WBUUC Choir, directed by Thaxter Cuneo. Friends, the snow reminds us that winter is on its way, and we need each other to get through the months ahead. The best way to find out what's happening here at church, in fact, the only way, is to open the e-news, the email we send twice weekly. It takes 2 minutes to read through, and there you'll find groups you can join, classes, special services, updates, and more. Please help us keep connected. We really need each other. Today, after the service at 11:15, we hope that you will join us for Cyber Social Hour. It's a fun way to meet others, see old friends, and share a little conversation in small facilitated groups. We'll put the Zoom link and easy instructions in the chat box. We're glad you're here. Welcome to our church.
Come in. Come into this space which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide nor pretend nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this space where we can heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this space where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this space. Together we make it a holy space. Joe Mechtenberg will light the chalice.
Hello. Recently, we took a journey out to the eastern Sierra Nevadas, and I was inspired to tell my children that this is an opportunity to change and to enjoy and experience the mountains, and let the mountains and the nature take over and have them experience something new for the first time, which is always amazing. And it also did something for me. And while out there, of course, I was inspired by John Muir as we were in Yosemite Valley, and I've been reading a couple of his books, and this seemed to be appropriate for our theme this month. So this is by John Muir, My First Summer in the Sierras. We are now in the mountains, and they are in us, kindling enthusiasm, making every nerve quiver, filling every pore and cell of us. Our flesh and bone tabernacle seems transparent as glass to the beauty about us, as if truly an inseparable part of it, thrilling with the air and trees, streams and rocks, in the waves of the sun. A part of all nature, neither old nor young, sick nor well, but immortal. Just now I can hardly conceive of any bodily condition dependent on food or breathe any more than the ground or sky. How glorious a conversion, so complete and wholesome it is. Scarce memory enough of old bondage days left as a standpoint to view it from. In this newness of life, we seem to have been so always. Thank you.
Join me in our opening words. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Join us now in our opening hymn, Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Shall I be wafted to the skies on flowery beds of ease, while others strive to win the prize and sail on bloody seas? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Good morning. One of the things that I like most about stories is that they can help us hold things that are hard or sad and maybe even a little bit scary, and help us hold them with awe and wonder. When we share stories together, we are invited to pay attention to how we feel and wonder what these stories are calling us to do or remember, or how we should change. In the case of this morning's story, called The Brothers, from Sarah Conover and Frida Kane's A Treasury of Islamic Wisdom for Children and Parents, we are invited to think about life and death. As I share the story, I invite you to notice, what does this story make you feel? What is this story calling to you? How are you changed by it? Once there was, and twice there wasn't, two old brothers who were inseparable travelers. One was named Life, the other Death. One time, after journeying across a desert, they came to a refreshing green oasis where they were greeted by a spring keeper. "Would you like some water to drink?" he asked them. Both the men nodded their assent. Dipping his gourd into the pool, the spring keeper added, "It is custom to let the elder drink first. Which of you is the elder?" Life spoke up first. "I am the elder," he said, stepping forward. "No," Death contradicted, "I am the elder." And he too stepped forward next to his brother. Life smiled but said, "That's impossible. Things must live before they die." Death responded, "On the contrary, things begin in death, are born, live for a time, and then return to death." Said Life, "That's not how it works at all. All things come into being, live, and then die. Death began after the first creature lived and died, said Death, a spark in his eyes. Death is the before and after of all life. Things arise from it and return to it. Therefore, death is the elder. The two debated like this next to the spring and had yet to drink a drop of water. Finally, they asked the spring keeper to judge truly who was the eldest. Gentlemen, I cannot say, said the spring keeper. What you've each told me is true. He looked at the two brothers. How can one speak of death without life? Death is like a desert until the rain falls. Then all the living things sprout miraculously from the rocks and sand. He smiled. And how can one speak of life without death, to which all things are certain to return? The spring keeper paused. Neither can exist without the other. Neither of you is elder or younger. He held out a single gourd. Drink now together and go in peace. And the two travelers took the gourd, drank their fill, and headed off in the comfort of each other's company. This story reminds me that all of us hold stories about life and death, the stories of how we came to be, the stories of our ancestors, and the stories of what we hope for in the future, even after we are gone. One of the ways that we make space for honoring our own stories of life and death is to build altars. Sometimes we build altars in formal ways together, creating a community altar and lighting candles and writing down names of loved ones when we can all be together. And sometimes we just carve out a little space in the corner on the top of a dresser or the top of a table or desk, and we might place special items that help to tell our story, items that make tangible where we have been, what we value, lessons we have learned, people in communities we love and that love us. We lay the items that remind us of our ancestors and of where we hope to go. Our altars are not just a place to lay down and share what we are holding, but also to hold those things high. They help us hold at the center our stories and what we value most. And through this naming, we also make space for wonder, anger, sadness, grief, and joy. Altars can help us hold all of this. This morning, you might notice that each of us has on our altars these leaf-shaped pieces of paper, and they have names written on them, written by all of you and placed on our community altar in years past. We are holding these names and your stories with us today. We invite you as you listen to the service today to imagine that all of our individual altars are connected, as of course they always are, telling our stories and holding them high together. We'll hold each other and hold our stories at the center together.
Join me in the spirit of prayer or meditation. Find your breath. Take a few deep ones. Find your center. Feel your body and how it's connected and interconnected to your place. Spirit of life, spirit of love, amazing grace, all that is, we bring our attention to you today. We bring our attention to you when we feel the cold air bring pink to our cheeks. We bring our attention to you when we see the sparkling miracle of snow falling. We bring our attention to you as we huddle close to our heaters, our partners, our families, our animal companions. We are once again aware of all the ways we are, each of us, part of the whole of all that is. As we are struggling through the barrier of emotional pandemic fatigue, dragging ourselves through ever-shortening days, remind us again, remind us one more time that we can share our sorrows. We can pass them on to you. Remind us how we can keep going on. Remind us again to keep going on. We can keep going on. Amen.
Once a month, our Sunday offering is given to a community organization whose work we honor to be a part of. Today, Cynthia Tomlinson is our liaison to the food shelves in White Bear Lake and Matamidi, and she'd like to tell you more about the special collection today.
Good morning. I'm Cynthia Tomlinson, and I'm here to ask you to donate to this month's special collection. The pandemic has been financially difficult for many of our neighbors, and families are counting on the food shelves like never before. For every dollar that we can donate, Matamidi and White Bear Food Shelves can provide $8 of food for those in need. If you're able, please join me in making a special donation today. Thank you.
No use crying, talking to a stranger, naming the sorrows you've seen. Too many sad times, too many bad times, and nobody knows what you mean. Ah, but if somehow you could back up your sorrows, give them all to me, you would lose them. I know how to use them. Give them all to me. No use rambling, walking in the shadows, trailing a wandering star. No one beside you, no one to hide you, nobody knows where you are. If somehow you could back up your sorrows, give them all to me, you would lose them. I know how to use them. Give them all to me. No use gambling, running in the darkness, looking for a spirit that's free. Too many wrong times, too many long times, nobody knows what you see. If somehow you could back up your sorrows and give them all to me, you would lose them. I know how to use them. Give them all to me. No use roaming, lying by the roadside, seeking a satisfied mind. Too many highways, too many byways, and nobody's walking behind. If somehow you could pack up your sorrows and give them all to me, you would lose them. I know how to use them. Give them all to me.
Our first reading is The Day of the Dead by Janice Gould. I wish it were like this. El Dia de los Muertos comes and we fill our baskets with bread, apples, chicken, and beer and go out to the graveyard. We bring flowers with significant colors, yellow, crimson and gold, the strong, hungry colors of life, full of saliva and blood. We sit on the sandy mounds and I play my accordion. It groans like the gates of hell. The flames of the votives flicker in the wind. My music makes everything sway, all the visible and invisible, friends, candles, ants, the wind, because for me, life ripens. And for now, it's on my side, though it's true, I am often afraid. I wear my boots when I play the old squeeze box and stomp hard rhythms until the headstones dance on their graves.
The second reading is from Denise Levertov, Talking to Grief. Oh, grief. I should not treat you like a homeless dog who comes to the back door for a crust, for a meatless bone. I should trust you. I should coax you into the house and give you your own corner, a worn mat to lie on, your own water dish. Grief, you think I don't know you've been living under my porch. You long for your real place to be readied before winter comes. You need your name, your collar, and tag. You need the right to warn off intruders, to consider my house your own, and me your person, and yourself my own dog.
Our third reading is Blessing for the Brokenhearted by Jan Richardson. Let us agree for now that we will not say the breaking makes us stronger, or that it is better to have this pain than to have done without this love. Let us promise we will not tell ourselves time will heal the wound when every day our waking opens it anew. Perhaps for now it can be enough to simply marvel at the mystery of how a heart so broken can go on beating as if it were made for precisely this, as if it knows the only cure for love is more of it, as if it sees the heart's sole remedy for breaking is to love still, as if it trusts that its own persistent pulse is the rhythm of a blessing we cannot begin to fathom, but will save us nonetheless.
This time may cometh tidings thick, for where sweet they soar up and Theonis that he shall hene
That music is very old. The lines written in Middle English. Each day I am plagued by three thoughts, a heavy weight on my soul. First, that my time is finite. Second, I know not when I will depart. But it is the third that torments me most, that there is no way to know where I'll go. Such a gloomy Celtic, Saxon, Nordic song. It's like the theme song of the weather this week. Pretty snow was one thing on Tuesday, but then sleet and rain and ice pellets and hail and wind and wintry mix, which sounds like some kind of salty sweet excellent snack for the cozy couch, but it is not. Wintry mix is not that. And the encroaching, lowering dark in the morning and the evening, the gloaming, which meant gloom in Middle English. This is a fitting song as the season turns this coming week toward All Saints and All Souls, toward Samhain and All Hallows Eve, the Day of the Dead, when they come back to haunt us, the dead, or they don't. Despite our loneliness and longing, our beseeching, sometimes our loved ones lost are truly lost, it seems. They're nowhere to be found. And we feel it keenly in the fall with darkness closing in. This ancient singer may have been a Christian, tormented by not knowing when they'll die nor where they'll go, fearing the fires of hell they'd been taught all their life to expect, as people were back then. Or they may have been a pagan, worrying and wondering, as we do even now, what happens after this? What happens when we die? What becomes of us? Ashes, dust, spirit? Whoever first sang those lines has been dead a long, long time, but their wondering remains. What becomes of us? What's become of our loved ones who died? In memorials and funerals, I sometimes read the words of Langston Hughes, the great poet of the Harlem Renaissance, great poet of humanity. He said, "Dear, lovely death." And these are not welcome words most of the time. Those are harsh, hard words for a room full of people numb with grieving, raw with sadness, bewildered, which means literally made wild. Even if their person was old and the death was expected, there's no way to expect it, no way for living hands to hold it really. Your person is gone, and the first words you hear are, "Dear, lovely death," when all our battered souls can comprehend is, "Oh, evil death, bitter, cruel, unmerciful, unbearable, unfair." But Langston Hughes, in his poem, reckons right up front with the reality. "Dear, lovely death, that taketh all things under wing, never to kill, only to change into some other thing, this suffering flesh, to make it either more or less, but not again the same. Dear lovely death, change is thy other name." So he's writing, of course, about our relationship to the one who's died, which continues as long as we live, only differently. And he's writing also, of course, about their transformation into spirit, the transformation, mystical, mysterious, and commonplace, natural, not supernatural, into soil and seawater and stars and memory. But he's writing also, and maybe mostly, about the transformation of the mourners themselves, all of us remaining. O death that taketh all things under wing, all of us. Change is your other name. And we know, you know, if you've ever lost somebody, that in some ways, no less than the one who's died, you are also undergoing, you must undergo a mighty transformation, be born again into a world that you're not sure you even want to live in anymore, not without your person, this sunny, oblivious world. But here you are, the empty shell of you, a kind of carcass, really. And you're offered this choice to love living, love life, love sunlight and snowfall and hailfall and friendship and hope, love laughter and food and music and dancing and breath, even so, even though they're gone. and so you make your choice. This month, our theme has been reformation, and that's what death asks of us, the deaths of the people we cherish, that we reform, recalculate pretty much everything, reimagine what life and love and joy in the morning could be for us without them. Change is death's other name, not only for the ones who've died. And the old medieval poet, whoever they were, is right. There's no way to know where we're going to go, not when we die and not while we're still here. None of that's foretold or preordained. We choose what to make of our days, laced as they are with sorrows and losses, and knowing as we do when we lift our gaze and remember that every single person we meet has a sadness inside them, or they will someday, as deep and wide and hollow and holy, as utterly defining as our own sadness. What do we do with our knowing? I wish it were like this, says a poet closer to our own time. I wish it were like this. El Dia de los Muertos comes, the Day of the Dead, and we fill our baskets with bread and apples and chicken and beer, and we go out to the graveyard, as people do in many countries, many places. We bring flowers with significant colors, yellow, crimson, gold, and the strong, hungry colors of life, full of saliva and blood. We sit on the sandy mounds, and I play my accordion. It groans like the gates of hell. The flames of the votives flicker in the wind. My music makes everything sway, all the visible and invisible, friends, candles, ants, the wind. My music makes everything move, because for me, life is ripening, and for now, it's on my side. Though it's true, I'm often afraid. I wear my boots when I play the old squeeze box and stomp hard rhythms till the headstones dance on their graves. So there's ferocity in grief like that. Anger and power and human and passion and a rage that burns so hot you know it comes from love. There's nothing demure or private or stoic or respectful, but it is reverent through and through. I am realizing in the 8th month of our plague that coursing through me now, white hot, is a trace of that rage. I feel it rising whenever I read the latest numbers, which I do every day religiously, out of respect, I think, sometimes more than once a day, the numbers of people who have died from COVID-19 worldwide and in our country. So when I read early this morning, 1.4+ million deaths globally since mid-February, and 224,819 of them in our country, I could feel rising that rage like a wave inside me, followed by a second wave, which is fear, not from my own health, but for what we have become as a people. Even though I see every day, and so do you, such evidence of tenderness, sacrifice, compassion, courage, intelligence, creativity, hope, it's everywhere. And I know we could yet rise to the call of our moment, and already so many are. Our story is neither foretold nor preordained, and anything is possible if we can imagine it and choose it. So rage rises in me with these numbers now, and fear rolls in behind it with hope. And the third wave that comes with the rage and the fear, crashing on the shore of me, shattering the core of me, is sadness. A sadness so unsettling because I don't even know yet how to hold the catastrophe of one human death. I have not yet learned that, let alone all of these. And so many preventable. There should be national days of mourning now, every day, with flags at quarter-mast, accordions and candles, our feet stomping the earth till the headstones dance on the graves, and the president's phone, full of tweets and lies and malice, is shaken from his hand. If we held a moment of silence for each person who's died, we'd be here for hours and hours, hungry and thirsty and squirming in our seats, our bodies and our children. would be telling us what the president apparently can't, that this is too much. It's too much. It is the grief I want to hold to and tremble in and stay present to. When I click on the chart and scan through the data, look at those maps with their hotspots and statistics, the rage is going to come regardless, and the fear is right behind it. But the grief is more elusive. I push it away to get on with my day. It feels somehow needy or weak or indulgent. It's soft, not strong. It's whiny, not hopeful. It's a waste of my time. It's a little embarrassing. But grief is what redeems us, reforms us, transforms us, cracks us open like milkweed pods, our seeds scattering everywhere. Grief binds us to each other and to people we don't even know, who may not look like us or vote like us, but whose hearts beat and hearts break just the same. It binds us, grief binds us all to all. When I read those numbers in the morning and at night and the names of the dead, I squint up my eyes and I try to see past the page to people, to humans, in nursing home wheelchairs, in hospital beds, assisted living, ventilators, their own homes, the living room transformed now into a MASH unit of IV tubes and syringes and oxygen and takeout containers, and somebody's on the phone to somebody who's not there and can't be, saying, no, you can't come visit. I promise I'll call you as soon as she passes, as soon as he dies, as soon as they're gone, I'll call you. I love you. And yes, I'm okay. But they're not. It's the grief of this that breaks our hearts right open, reminds us they're still beating in here, that we ourselves are still alive. We welcome it. Denise Levertov's poem is just right. Oh, grief, I should not treat you like a homeless dog who comes to the back door for a crust, for a meatless bone. I should trust you, grief. I should coax you into the house and give you your own corner, a worn mat to lie on, your own water dish. Grief, you think I don't know you've been living under my porch. You long for your real place to be ready before winter comes. You need your name, your collar, your tag. You need the right to warn off intruders, to consider my house your own and me your person and yourself my own dog. The people who have died this year are people, they were overwhelmingly elders, a generation of wisdom and stories and memory, somebody's grandpa, somebody's nana, thousands and thousands and thousands. And they were also young. Alarming numbers of people, we're learning now, between 25 and 45 years old. People at the height of their power, and their parents and their partners and their children are weeping. They were overwhelmingly poor, overwhelmingly Black and Latinx and Native, people of color. And here our grief meets rage. By the end of this year, the end of December, the CDC predicts there could be as many as 400,000 dead in our country. And if we let it in, if we let that in, we will be transformed by this grief. We will never be healed, restored to some old kind of normal. Death's other name is change. We know it from the losses we ourselves have sustained, the ones we're still in the midst of surviving and will be all our lives. And we will not go back to any kind of complacency or denial or willful ignorance about the meaning of these numbers and how these deaths could have been prevented and how more sadness yet to come could be avoided. In their honor, in their name, their 1.4 million names. In every one of their holy, sweet, beloved names, we resolve to live forever changed. That's what the 5th verse of Amazing Grace is about. An old verse, maybe an original one, It's almost always edited out because it's jarring and disturbing and hard and weird, acknowledging injustice and complicity. Shall I be wafted to the skies on a flowery bed of ease while others strive and struggle and sail on bloody seas? That's a person wondering, like the old medieval poet, where am I going on this voyage? How should I be living? How should I be? Who will I be before I die? You know, I am coming to understand. I don't know what I believe about it, but I think I understand what people mean when they say they talk to their loved ones who've died, pray to them even, ask them for wisdom, for blessings, for strength, as if the dead could see more clearly than we can, see through to the truth of things, the simplicity of things, the heart of every matter that seems so complicated and fraught to us. The veil is always thin between our bright, broken, beautiful world and their shadow world, not just in the fall. They're speaking to us always, just as our lived lives, our actions and intentions are calling to the future, whispering encouragement and hope and signs of life to descendants we're not ever going to meet. And so a prayer for all souls. Gratitude and wonder to those whom we loved and all those before them whose names we don't even know, whose cells and stories sparkle still in our memory and our bone and blood, the inheritance we carry which cannot be lost. Gratitude and wonder to the elders, the ancestors, century back and more recent. I tell my mother's picture on the table, you have no idea what this time is like. Without breath, with no smile, only love, her gaze as steady as ever. No, but I did see some things in my time. Remember who you are, made of love and blood and bone, made for this moment, your time. Spirit of life, help us to remember we're companioned on this strange, hard road by spirit guides and loved ones now. Some are living, some are dead. We are held within and hold within ourselves, among ourselves, this ancient legacy of love. May light perpetual keep them, and may our lives bring honor to their memory. I invite you now to take a breath, light a candle if you have one close to you, or use your chalice if you lit one, and bring to mind, bring to heart, bring into this shared space your beloved dead, loved ones lost yet ever present to your spirit. We're going to play some music, an old Shaker prayer, and as it plays, we invite you to share the names of those you're remembering today by typing them into the chat if you're here on Zoom, or in the comments on Facebook. Just type their first names, no last names, no story, their first names, so we can hold them all in love.
Lay Lay me low, lay me low, lay me low. Where the Lord can find me, where the Lord can own me, where the Lord can bless me.
Let's join in a spirit of prayer, spirit of life that takes all things under wing. On the threshold of All Hallows Eve, the feast days of all saints and all souls, on the threshold of Samhain, the Day of the Dead. Holy moments in the waning year when the veil between the world of those who've died and our own world is said to be a thin veil, even for us. When they haunt us with their love again and come beside us, gently whispering, we give thanks for those who touched our hands and held us and beheld us in ways we won't be held again, not quite in that same way. And yet we are forever changed for having known and loved them and having been so loved and known. We give thanks for the joy of their company, which while they lived, we hardly even understood. Fully mindful of the cost of love, fully mindful of the cost of love, we give thanks for memory and mercy. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we will remember them. May every broken heart be soothed and strengthened for the days ahead. May we hold each other now in soft and tender care, now and always. Amen. The hymn is Comfort Me.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
Please join me in the closing words. May peace dwell within our hearts and understanding in our minds. May courage steel our will and love of truth forever guide us.
Friends, thank you so much for joining us today and holding with us through all our ups and downs. Just wanted to let you know that if you want to see the uninterrupted version of this service, we will be uploading it to YouTube this afternoon. If you're not receiving our email news, please go to our website and sign up. This is the best way and the only way to find out what's going on at church. We really know that everybody's inbox is flooded with email right now. And we promise that the e-news you get on Monday and Thursday will be brief and crystal clear, with news about classes, groups, and programs you can join, as well as on Mondays, we send a reading with reflection and questions to inspire and anchor your spirit. And on Thursday, we send a prayer to center your soul. There's a lot happening this fall, so please help us all keep connected. Today at 11:15, you can join us for Cyber Social Hour. It's actually just half an hour of easy conversation in small groups with friends old and new. And today at 12:30, join us for a conversation with Victoria about how keeping the faith in our fragile democracy can be helpful. Here's a link to the Zoom gathering for this discussion called The Soul of a Citizen. Farewell and stay well, friends, from all of us. So be it. See to it. Amen.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white. Bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself,